You cannot enter into this phase of retirement with the attitude that everything's going to be great and it's going to be an easy transition. If you assume retirement can automatically bring you happiness with no effort or no planning, it's a good chance you'll fail and probably fail early.
We were told by many of our colleagues that retired before us that retirement's great. Every day is like a Saturday. Well, I don't know about you, but I spent 40 years really looking forward to Saturday. If every day's like a Saturday, what do you really have to look forward to?
If you fail to adapt in this new phase of life, you will risk turning your golden years into a period of regret, and you'll miss out on the most amazing opportunities that retirement has to offer.
I was recently at a meeting last week, and I spent some time with a good friend of mine who's married, Nick and Joanne, and they're retired.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing okay, but he cornered me and said, you know what? I'm actually really bored. I go, what does that mean? I get up and I don't have work anymore. I don't really know what to do. I don't have a plan. We started walking, we started eating better, and then we slipped back into this unhealthy phase, and I don't know how to get out of it. I said, well, what are you going to do? Well, we're going to travel. I go, what do you mean you're going to travel? We're going to travel. I said, where are you going to go? Europe, Italy, South America, Canada? Yeah, you're going to go everywhere. And, you know, the thing is, he hasn't planned yet. They really haven't figured out what this phase looks like.
Yep.
And there's so many people that are in the same boat. We were in the same boat, right?
We were. And the boat was actually sinking when we were in it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with both our health and our, just low activity levels and high alcohol content and just some things that we didn't really think of. When you think every day is a Saturday, that means every night is a Saturday night.
No, it's a Friday night. Friday night was the night you went out and hoot and hollered.
Oh, I was a Saturday night girl. Friday night I was exhausted.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. Saturday night. If every day's a Saturday, every night's a Saturday night. But let's get to it.
Yeah. Now, if you're new here, I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Jody.
And we don't focus on the financial aspects of retirement, but rather your lifestyle, your health, your relationships, and more.
Now, we'd love you to hit the subscribe button, but more importantly for us, it would be awesome if you could share this video and some of our other videos with people who you really care about in your life who are on the same journey. And don't forget, below we have a link to one of our free downloads, the 1-year retirement checklist, which is a really good checklist to use when you're getting near retirement, or frankly, if you've been in it for a year or two. Gives you an idea of some of the things you should be thinking about so that you can jumpstart your retirement.
Absolutely. Okay, let's jump in and let's chat about the things you'll need to get right. And if you stay to the end, we'll share with you the 3 most important steps you can take to enter retirement as most prepared as you can be.
Right.
So the first thing you have to do, just have to do it. If you don't do it, you will fail in retirement, but you have to create a new identity.
And let's talk about that for a second, or give it some context, because we actually get pushback from some people when we mention this in other videos. You know, I was the CEO and the owner of a company, and you were the
Senior Vice President of a Fortune 200 company.
Yeah. And that was our identity. Whether you like it or not, that's what we were known as. When you step away from that, you really need to be able to say who you are. I'm retired. Well, that's not an identity.
No. You have to explore new interests and redefine yourself beyond your career and find things that will hold your attention, get your heart rate going that isn't work, because you won't have work anymore. I mean, we spent years working, doing stuff with the kids, sports, dinners, and then working again at night and getting up and doing the whole cycle again. I mean, it took up a lot of hours of your day, and it took up a lot of your identity.
You know, when we first retired and failed a little bit and then kind of wove ourselves through some different things.
Sure.
Weaved our way through. People ask me now, so what do you do? And I say with a big smile on my face, I'm a YouTuber. And they look at me like, what? Yeah, I'm a YouTuber with my wife, Jody. That's our new identity, right? Well, I mean, we're a mom and a dad and all of that, but I'm not.
See, people ask me what I do, and I don't say I'm a YouTuber. I say I'm a golfer.
Well, that's true. But my dad used to always say, well, I used to be this and I used to be that. I used to be an insurance agent. Right. I used to own my own company. So finding a new identity that you can identify yourself with and tell others what you're doing really does help a lot. If you can't do that, you need to figure out a way to do it. And you could be, I'm a grandpa.
Sure.
I'm a good husband. But
Right.
you got to come up with something. The other thing that you need to do, or you're going to fail.
The second thing.
The second thing is establishing a new routine. Whether you know it or not, if you think back, it'll start to get clear on you. When you were in your career, when you were getting up in the morning to go to work, you had a routine. You had an alarm clock set where you got up naturally, you had coffee, maybe watched the news, have a chat with your wife or husband, got in the car and went to work. When you get out of that, there is no routine. There is no reason to get up in the morning. So without that, you start to wander. You don't know really what to do. You just kind of can get lost, right?
Yeah, so you really have to establish a new daily routine that balances your leisure and some productivity, because we're all used to some level of productivity, right? Set regular times for activities like your exercise, your hobbies, your socializing. And, we're big planners, so we plan, the week in advance, and we make sure there's varied, activities in there. So it's not like this entire week I'm going to finish that book I'm reading. Well, that might be one of the things, and you just did that. You concentrated on a book for the past couple of days and read it and loved it.
I read a novel over 4 days. I haven't done that in years.
But it was fun.
It was fun, and I encourage people to do that. I really just escaped from everything.
Right.
And that felt good.
And sometimes you need that.
I couldn't do that every day.
Right.
I couldn't read a book every week and just get lost in it. So.
Yep. So.
But planning's important. Having a routine is important.
Mm-hmm.
We have very, very solid morning routines. By the time 9 or 10 o'clock comes along, we're good for the day.
Yeah, I think so
We've
too.
gotten a lot done, and we know we're going to do the rest of the day.
So you have to establish the new identity. You have to figure out your new routine. The third thing is you have to establish new social connections. Your workplace social life will disappear, potentially leading you into isolation and loneliness. So you have to actively seek out and build a new social network.
And I think the thing here is that you might already have enough friends outside of work. And you might belong to some social clubs or a golf club or something. And that's great. And if you do, that's wonderful. But if you're one of those people, kind of like me, where most of my social connections were at work, when that ends, there's this void and dryness that comes about that, like, who am I going to have lunch with? Who am I going to hang out with? And I can't rely 100% upon you. That's not fair.
No,
because you've got your own stuff going
Right.
on. And I think men have a harder time than women establishing social connections. So we have to work even harder to build back new friendships that are meaningful.
Absolutely.
All right, here's a good one. Failing to recognize strain on the marriage when one of you or both of you retire. When you're both working or one of you working, the time you spend together is limited. After work, dinner, maybe some weekends. But now it could be 24 hours a day.
Right.
For us, it is 24 hours a day because we actually work, we relax together. I mean, you do some things alone, I do some things, but we spend a lot of time together. And in the beginning, it was strain on the marriage.
Well, you have to remember, more time together can really expose some unaddressed issues.
Like what? What? Well, you go ahead. They want to know.
No, but it's important to work on your relationship and embrace the changes that you're going through together. Let's face it, as we age, we go through a lot of changes, physically, mentally, socially, and certainly when you leave your job, you go through changes.
So there is going to be strain on the marriage. You have to understand
There could
that. There will be. There will be. It's different. It is different.
Right.
Here's the thing. You have to be able to talk about it. You have to be vulnerable. You have to share with each other. You have to be really good at listening. You have to be kind and thoughtful when you have these conversations. But it will strain the marriage. Divorce rate in America is down.
Right.
Divorce rate for people over the age of 55 is up. It's called gray divorce. And it can happen. You can prevent it.
Absolutely.
All right.
The fifth thing is, if you fail to find some sort of new purpose or fulfillment, right? You had career goals. There's a void where ambition once lived in your soul. So you have to find new goals and passions and pursue them with absolute vigor. Like, just go after it.
Like what we're doing here. I mean, this is now 3 years into YouTube, and this is our thing. And we love it. We really do. And we do it for ourselves to learn. And then we do it for all of you. And this is part of what we do. 10, 20 hours a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. Depends really what's going on. But if you don't have anything like that, volunteering, start a business,
Write a blog.
write a book. There's a lot you can do to have some purpose and fulfillment and passion in your retirement. So you
And
need
travel.
to find that.
I mean, you
Travel's
mentioned,
good.
yeah, travel's
Yeah,
also a
yeah.
good one to put on that list.
You know, the other thing you need to be aware of and appreciate and understand is that your health will decline. You will get older, you'll get slower, your hearing will go,
What?
your ability to lift certain weights, go up and
Right.
down stairs, it's going to decline. So here's the thing. If you don't have a routine to work on that, physical exercise, you're neglecting your physical health.
Right.
And you will die sooner than you need to.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, I hate to say you definitely because, right, we're not here to preach, but
Yeah, we
prioritizing physical activity and healthy living really makes a difference. I know for me, recently I sent my girls, my 3 daughters, a picture of me in, I think it was 2018 when I retired, 2020, 2 years post-retirement, and then a picture of me from a wedding we just went.
It's shocking to see the
It is
difference
shocking.
in Jody from 2018 till now.
Yeah.
And that's because we have this morning routine. We have a nutritionist we talk to.
We have more
have a-
time to have a morning routine too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to beat my younger self up because I was a working mom with a lot of responsibility, a lot of direct reports, a lot of pressure. But I was not prioritizing myself and my self-care. And having been able to do that really just for the past 4 years, even though we've been retired for almost 5.5, because that year and a half we were kind of off the rails a little bit.
Yeah.
I definitely feel different. I physically look different, and I think I'm mentally a different person.
You're a
So-
nicer person than you were in 2018.
I
for
am?
Sure. Yeah, much
Aw.
nicer.
So
Prettier
sweet.
too. You're reversing. You're going backwards in time.
Benjamin Button. I could be
You're
like Benjamin
little
Button.
Benjamin Button.
If
So-
you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
We tell people tell us I don't have time. I'm too busy. I said, "What do you do in the morning?" Well, we get up. We look at the phone. We have a coffee. We watch TV. We chit chat. I call the kids. I do this. Okay, you have to swap some of that out for physical exercise,
Just moving your body.
so that you can
Yeah.
keep up with the decline in your health. You just have to make the decision. That's what I'm going to do.
And that whole category, number 6, was all about physical, health.
Mm-hmm.
But failure to keep up or be aware of your mental health and your mental health challenges is also something you have to put on the radar screen, or, you will soon slip into a failure category of your own making in retirement.
Well, there's this fear for men to be the grumpy old man.
Yeah.
Which my dad was. But,
Right.
There was a lot of great things about him, but he definitely was the grumpy old man, and you didn't want to be around him. All he did was complain, and your son is doing this or not doing that. And we just found all of this stuff to complain about. We don't want to be like that.
No, this
And-
transition into retirement can definitely lead to depression or anxiety for those who are unprepared. But maintaining mental and emotional well-being through active engagement, practicing mindfulness, staying connected to family and friends, keep your mind active with puzzles or games or reading. There's a lot you can do for yourself. You just have to light the
Yeah.
fire.
Well, another reason where you can definitely fail in retirement is if you set unrealistic expectations. Retirement isn't always a never-ending vacation. It's not always every day is a Saturday. That's just not healthy to have that as your expectation. You've got to have some realistic goals, understand the limitations of retirement. We both belong to a gym and Get Cat Fit, and it's
Boot camp.
boot camp. So I'm working out next to 35-year-old men. They're
And
grabbing
women.
and women. Well, some of the women too are grabbing 35-pound
Right.
weights. I can't do 35 pounds.
Not yet.
So I
You
do
never know.
20, and I keep up with them, and I do the same movements, but I don't want to get hurt.
Right.
So I'm building myself up slowly, not back to where I was, but I actually feel like I'm stronger now than I've ever been. Don't you think so?
Mm-hmm.
My muscles. Should I take my shirt off and show?
No, I think you're good.
Okay.
I think you're
All
good.
right.
But, I guess the whole message there is be practical about what you can achieve.
Right.
Take stock and make sure that you are adaptable and you're changing to any circumstances that come your way.
Right.
All right. The next thing, number 9, would be failing to plan for personal development. There's a danger of becoming intellectually stagnant for lack of a better word. Continuing to challenge yourself to grow and to get yourself involved in courses or workshops or book clubs, whatever your thing is, put growth and development on your list, or failure in retirement could come your way.
We use a word or term, long life learning.
Which we did not coin.
We didn't.
No.
We got that from
MEA, I think. Chip Conley?
Chip Conley, Modern Elder Academy. He wrote a big white paper on this, long life learning. We have this new time. This is a time to take the 40 plus hours of free time that came our way from retirement and use it to learn something, to teach something, write a book, join a workshop, do an online course. There is so much you can do to grow personally. If you don't do that, you're gonna take your knowledge that you had and you're slowly gonna decline. You've got a couple choices when you retire. You can either just decline like my dad did, or you can kind of maintain the best as you can, or you can grow. Yeah. There's no reason not to get into retirement and say, you know what, I want to learn a new language. I want to write a book. So I think having that attitude is really important.
All right, so what's number 10?
Well, number 10, which is the last one, is you've really got to have open discussions with your husband or wife
or significant other
about what happens as you age. Who's going to take care of who? What does that look like? Do you have long-term care insurance? Caregiving can unexpectedly become a full-time job.
Right.
And you need to talk about that. Do you have enough resources for nurses? Do you have kids who are going to help you? You can't just let a surprise illness derail your retirement. You've got to plan for that. It's going to happen. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm not going to get old and crotchety, am I? I'm already there?
I hope not.
No. So I think it's really important to openly discuss this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it?
Yeah. No,
okay.
You summed it up great.
All right. So here's the 3 things that we feel are really important steps to take care of right now if you're just entering retirement or even if you're in it. But the first thing is you've got to have a strong financial plan. Money can derail everything. If you're not clear on what you have and what's coming in and what your expenses are, you're spending so much time and effort worrying about that, you really can't get to everything else we talked about.
Absolutely.
So you got to have a really good understanding, and if you need to earn more money, then you need to figure that out.
The second thing is something I'm really passionate about, which is lifestyle visioning. Clearly define what you want your retirement to look like, including your hobbies, your travel, your social activities, your personal goals, and then create a roadmap for your retired life. I think the visioning piece is something people always miss.
The third piece, which I think is the most important, I know all 3 are the most important, but this one without a doubt, a really good, solid health and wellness focus. Prioritizing physical and mental health through regular exercise, healthy eating, routine medical checkups, and engaging in activities to promote mental well-being, such
Absolutely.
as meditating, hobbies, social interaction. You've got to have a really good, strong routine around that, or you're just short-circuiting your retirement.
Hopefully this gives you a short list of some things you might think about and certainly some areas to focus on so you can have a successful retirement.
Now this next video is the first part of a 3-part retirement series, transitioning into retirement. The first video is 5 to 10 years out, the second one is 1 to 5 years out, and the third video is go time, your last 12 months before retirement. So watch this series next.